if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
All right, everyone, we're just about to get started. Thank you again, and please engage in the chat room. All right, hello, everybody. My name is Gloria, and I am the YES Program Manager here at iEarn USA.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to the YES 15th anniversary. My name is Hannah, and I'm the YES Program Coordinator at iEarn USA.
Hannah, it's our birthday.
And I'm so excited. Happy birthday to the YES and YES Abroad program. It is absolutely 15 years. That's huge. 15 years of the YES program and over 10 years of the YES Abroad program. We have over 10,000 alumni, and that number doesn't even capture the number of host families, host schools, local Americans, and the international community members who have just changed their lives forever. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm ready. I have my what do you call it? I have my blow. What is it?
Party favor?
My party favor. Happy anniversary. Yes, that's the most that we could do. Yeah, we're really, really excited today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in.
Yes. And as a program staff member, I haven't been with the YES program, honestly, that long, compared to a lot of, especially our wonderful international staff that we also have joining here today. But you know, I already know that my life has been impacted, and I've seen a lot of impact of the YES program. So I'm hoping for not just 15 more years, but 50 more years, 500 more years of the YES program.
Yeah, it's definitely needed, and definitely we are so excited that we can all gather from around the world to celebrate this happy occasion. I mean, we have people coming in from like everywhere. Before the webinar even started, we have like people coming in. So we have a live broadcast that's going on before we continue. And we want to make sure that our Facebook Live viewers are actually watching. So we're making sure that's happening. And like I was saying before we begin, let's just go over a quick review of some of the features in the room. We are back on Facebook Live. Awesome. And we just want to give a couple of features. As you know, if you are used to these webinars, we just like to give you some house rules so you're comfortable in the webinar room and you are aware of all of your permissions in the room. Right? And if you can hear us, can everyone hear us? Right? Just give us a thumbs up if you can hear us so we can continue. As you're letting us know that, please go ahead and review your chat box settings to make sure that it is set to all panelists and attendees. I'm not attendees, but all panelists and participants. Sometimes, depending on the version of Zoom you have, it says to everyone. But we want to make sure that everyone is chatting and asking questions with each other. Thank you for the thumbs up, Maha and Leah. Awesome. We also will be launching some polls. So we want to ask you first, who are you? What is your program year? If you are an alumnus or alumna, what year did you participate on the program? If you are a student on program, please let us know. Program staff, host family members, a YES supporter, or just simply a friend. Just let us know who you are so we can go ahead and capture that.
Yeah, for those of you who are on Facebook Live and unfortunately can't participate in the poll, please put in the chat box. What year are you? Where were you hosted? This is great. We have a lot of votes coming in.
Awesome. We have YES alumnus from 2008 and 2011. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, again, we are streaming on Facebook, and this webinar is being recorded. And as always, we will be sharing the recording of the webinar on the YES website. For those of you joining us through Facebook Live, please feel free to add your comments and questions, and just let us know, engage with us. Or you could just also come in the room and do both at the same time.
Yes.
Great. So without further ado, can we introduce, we have a lot going on today, Gloria. The webinar is jam-packed with ways that you can participate in YES program 15th anniversary celebrations around the globe.
Yeah, and all year long.
And all year long, yeah.
I know some people who do a birthday month, like they celebrate all month. Hannah celebrates all month. But we also have this year for yes, we celebrate the whole year. All
Yeah.
of 2018 is just going to be a constant celebration.
Yeah. And then we also have today some special guests joining in from American Councils. We have Yes Abroad, a member of the Yes Abroad alumni community, and also from the Yes community. And they're like both from like the first and second cohorts of Yes.
Amazing.
That's amazing. So can we introduce our rep from American Councils?
Yes, please, Hannah, introduce.
I have the honor. Okay, so we first are going to introduce Jenny St. John from American Councils. Jenny is the alumni coordinator, our colleague for the Kennedy-Lugar Youth and Exchange Program at American Councils for International Education. Some of you might recognize Jenny from the webinar we just had. Hi, Jenny, from the Alumni Grants webinar we just had, which is one of the initiatives implemented to support all the amazing Yes alumni who are making changes in their communities. We want to remind everyone that the application for the Alumni Grants, proposal or competition is February 15th. I'm sorry, I cannot talk. And it's a great way to get extra funding for those amazing service projects that you're doing, alumni, in your communities. And we're so lucky to have Jenny joining us today to talk about some of the ways the Yes program is going to be celebrating its 15th anniversary throughout the year.
Great.
Yeah. Welcome, Jenny.
Thank you all. I'm so happy to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Yeah, great. So if you want to go ahead and screen share your items, we will go on mute and turn off our cameras. But we're so excited to see what you have to share.
Absolutely. Wonderful. All right, well, let's get started. So, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having me today. I'm so excited to be here with everyone and to talk about all the 15th anniversary fun that we have going on. So, first of all, we had a logo design contest. Although this has already happened, I wanted to share this with you all anyway, so that you can use this logo all year long. So when you have an activity or if you add the overlay to your Facebook page, your Facebook, Mohammed from Indonesia, who is a current student hosted by PAX in Missouri. So congratulations for winning the logo contest, Mohammed. Something else that we're doing for our 2018 year is that every week we're going to be featuring one country. So every Yes country will have the opportunity to highlight their country by producing a video that will be put on Yes social media during that country's week. You may have already seen some of the videos because we kicked off the year. The first week of the year was Kosovo's week. So we have an example. We're going to watch the video from Macedonia right now. So I hope everyone enjoys.
I was the happiest person alive. I started shedding tears of joy. I started a new chapter, a new adventure in my life. I made friends. Impacted communities. How to trust me. I lived the American dream. I lived every day to the fullest. But the adventure never ended. I received so much, and I'm ready to give back to my Macedonian community. I'm ready to change the world. I am ready to usher in a new age in my community. I'm a Macedonian Yes alumni. Happy 50th Yes anniversary!
So as you can see from the video, This is a way for each country to highlight a little bit about their country and to share some of your country-specific program successes. In order so that you have some guidelines, we've produced a video creation guide that gives you some information about what should be in your video and the length and the quality. And so you can either reach out to your implementing organization in your country, or you can reach out to yesalumni@americancouncils.org, and I'll be happy to send you a copy of that video guide. But I can't wait to see all the wonderful videos you all will produce around the world and over the course of this year. All right, so another way we're celebrating this year is through a Yes Appreciation Day. On October 15th, Yes is going to have its first annual Yes Appreciation Day. October 15th is a special day because this is the day that Yes was implemented by Congress. This is why the day was chosen. And so this is our wonderful card that we have created for Yes Appreciation Day. And we look forward to celebrating, and we hope you will too. So we're also going to have monthly themes throughout the year. During each month, we are asking alumni to post videos or photos on social media along the theme. And the best photos will be reshared by Yes program staff. And this is across all 3 social media platforms that Yes is involved in: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So please do share your photos and engage with us on these themes. And we look forward to seeing them. All right. So that's just one small example of things that alumni can do throughout the year to celebrate with us. So we encourage you to hold your own 15th anniversary festivities in your home countries. For example, maybe you could make a cake that in the shape of KLS 15, like we did here at American Councils, as you saw from our cupcake video there. Or maybe you make a human sign after a volunteering event where you and your fellow alumni make the shape of a Yes 15. Perhaps you write a website story where you highlight 15 fantastic alumni from your country, or 15 natural parents, or 15 teachers. Maybe you highlight 15 alumni projects that have happened in your country that are amazing and impactful. Or perhaps there are some host parents visiting some Yes alumni that they hosted and meeting their natural parents. Like, we'd love to have some video footage of that. So we hope that you will celebrate the 15th anniversary all year long by posting on social media and hashtagging KLYes15. And that said, here are all of the information, all of the information that you need for engaging with us on social media. These are our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages. If you don't already like and follow us, please do that now. And please use the hashtag KLYes15 all year long. So maybe you're wondering, what should you post and how do you engage with us on social media? So here's a little information to help you out. Obviously, if you're part of the alumni community, we want to hear about your memories, your activities, what you're doing now, what you want to do in the future, And we want to hear you thanking the program and the people who made a difference in your year and telling us why you are happy to be a Yes alum. If you're a current student, keep on sending those host family pictures, pictures with your local coordinator in your school, and tell us, how Yes is impacting you right now. Maybe you are program staff. Tell us why you love Yes and why you love working on Yes. And if you're just not sure the best way to contribute, you can always go online and answer the question, what does Yes mean to you? We're happy to hear everything about why you love Yes. All right, so if anyone has any questions right now, you're welcome to put them in the chat box, or you can email yesalumni@americancouncils.org, and I will be happy to answer any questions you have about the 15th anniversary and how you can become more involved, or to share the video guidelines with you so that you and your alumni teams in your home countries can get ready to prepare that video. And if you have any questions also about the video, about when you're supposed to be producing the video and other ways you can engage during your country's week, please do contact your implementing organization in your home country. All right, so let's see if we have any questions.
Yes, please. Throughout the webinar, if you do have any questions for Jenny, she is an excellent resource for you to ask. So this is your opportunity to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And I really loved that video that you shared. The alumni are really,
awesome.
So excited, so much energy.
They're so excited.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jenny, for this. I think this is a great resource. Again, we're also going to plug in the Yes 15th anniversary story right here in the chat box, just in case anyone wants to actually go on there and also see some of the amazing things you can do throughout the year.
Oh, Jenny, actually, we do have a question from Leah asking, can we submit a story to the website? I feel like
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, we love when you all submit stories to the website. There is a feature in the website itself where you can submit a story, or if you can't find how to do that, you're always welcome to email Yes Alumni, and we will make sure your story gets edited. I mean, we may have some extra questions for you to publish your story, but we love to hear from you, and we love to get content from you. So please do send that along.
That was a great question, though. Yeah, thank you, Jenny.
Yeah, and I think I recognize a lot of names that are in the chat room that have had their stories published. Mm-hmm. And they've talked about a range of things, from talking about their experience on program, mm-hmm. things that they're doing after as alumni, recent accomplishments. So we definitely appreciate all of those stories.
Yeah. Great. Awesome. Thank you, Jenny.
You're very welcome. Thank you all. I'm so happy to see you all today, and I'll be around until more than likely the end of the webinar.
Awesome.
If you have any extra questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Great. Thank you, Jenny. All right, and so we have some fun facts. Gloria was over here celebrating early. Like she is in celebration mode. Yes, and we are right there with her. We're gonna just give some fun facts, right? Mm-hmm. Did you know that during 2016 and 2017, Yes students completed over 76,000 hours of community service?
I didn't, but I'm not really surprised.
I'm not either.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Also, but during 2016 and 2017, Yes Abroad students completed over 3,500 hours of community service.
That's amazing.
So on average, that's about 85 hours per student, and then 35% of those completed over 100 hours.
Wow. Can we give a round of applause? I mean, seriously. Yeah. Awesome. Amazing. We're going to keep doing that.
Yeah. For those of you guys joining, we have a quick little fun question. How do you say happy birthday, Yes, in your native language?
Oh, that's a good one. if you're logged in on Facebook or even in the webinar, please go ahead and please chat. How do you say happy birthday in your native language?
Yes.
How do you?
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
In
happy
English.
Birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Yes.
Yeah. Do you speak any other languages, Anna?
No, I'm trying to learn French. How do
Okay.
you say happy birthday in French?
I don't know. In Spanish,
Feliz
Feliz.
Navidad.
Nope, that's Christmas.
That's
That's
Christmas.
Christmas. Feliz cumpleaños.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Yes. Oh, we have it. Oh, look. Selamat ulang tahun. I don't know if our pronunciation's okay for Indonesian. Yes.
Selamat ulang tahun.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
Cool. Please keep chatting that. And I need to brush up on my Spanish. All right. So can we introduce our next special guest?
Yes. Next, we have from Yes Abroad, Natalie Rayberger. She is driven by her desire to increase cross-cultural understanding throughout the world, one human connection at a time. I think that's something we can all relate to. So she was a 2012 Yes Abroad alumna in the second cohort since the program was started to Indonesia. And then she ended up pursuing a bachelor in business and international studies with a focus on Asia studies. And while she was living in India, she was an international marketing intern for an Indian tech company. So her first job after college was as the head of an editorial department at a Chinese company that oversaw writers from all around the world. Natalie proceeded to create a Chinese study abroad program under the guidance of a Chinese study abroad company, and that taught her invaluable cross-cultural skills and exposed her to a world of international education as a career path, like even beyond just her Yes Abroad experience.
Wow.
She currently lives in New York City, and she's working as a participant support specialist, supporting students like our Yes students who are currently on program at AFS USA, and she plans on getting her master's in international education to further her career and hopefully work as a foreign service officer for the State Department.
Awesome. We are so happy to have Natalie here in this webinar room. Welcome, Natalie.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Hello, everyone.
We are going to share some photos of Natalie, but to get you started, Natalie, we're going to ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah, this is kind of cool because this webinar, the reason why I love this specific webinar is because it's not just the special guest giving a presentation, right? This is a casual conversation with Gloria and I and our special guest, Natalie. So we do have some questions that we want to ask. First of all, Natalie, what inspired you to apply for the Yes Abroad program?
So specifically, I would say that growing up with my grandma, she lived in Indonesia. And so I already from a very young age had this curiosity about other cultures from hearing her stories about living there. And so then I found out about Yes through an orientation at my high school about AFS. And so I applied and ended up going to Indonesia. So I would say overall though, I was just curious to see what other parts of the world were like outside of my hometown.
Awesome, thank you, Natalie. And I think there's a little bit of an echo we're hearing. I think some of our attendees are saying that there's an echo. So if you hear an echo,
Natalie, do you have us open on multiple tabs, maybe? Speaker's a little loud.
Let me see. No, I turned down my volume. Is it better now?
I think so.
Yes. Well, if it is, we have our amazing tech management team in the back here, so they'll let us know. But hopefully, is it still echo? Still a little bit echo. Okay. All right. Well, what we can do is just continue the interview, and hopefully, you all can be able to capture it, just so we can try to move along. But if you can hear us, then that's a good thing. So, do we want to ask our next question?
Yeah.
All right. So our next question is, and Natalie, how do you think your exchange experience in Indonesia affected the people around you in the U.S. or in Indonesia?
I think that as far as living in Indonesia, that just all those one-on-one interactions, it could be anything from a friendship, a relationship with my host family, but even, you know, someone that I would see at the local market on a regular basis. For a lot of Indonesians, you know, there aren't that many Americans in Indonesia. So, and even if there are, it doesn't mean that a lot of Indonesians have had one-on-one interactions. And so when you're able to develop and foster those, you know, meaningful relationships with people, you know, big or small, I think it just kind of opens up people's curiosity about other cultures, not just the US, and increases cultural understanding. Because if you don't know someone from another country, all you really know is what you know, what you see in movies and things like that are not always reflective of what other cultures are like.
Yeah. And I think we can all agree to that. You know, I know this question has to do with the people around you, but what about your ideas? Did your Yes Abroad experience perhaps open you up to new ideas?
Definitely. It definitely showed me other ways of life and encouraged me to want to seek out other cultures beyond Indonesia, such as India, and then after that, China. You know, when you live I feel like when you live in another culture, and if you really are seeking out to experience different ways of life, those cultures end up becoming a part of you in small ways, or if you're open to that. And I think that's something that's really special, is being able to see, not only respect other cultures, but also sometimes kind of adapt that as part of who you are, and see, yeah, that makes sense to me. And then also sometimes just respecting that cultural difference and not adapting that into part of who you are.
Yeah, and I think I kind of see that in this photo. Can you explain what is happening in this photo?
That was when, so on the right, that's my host dad and host mom, who I'm still really close to. And I've been back to visit a number of times, which has been really amazing. And this is when we were visiting my host sister's family in Sumatra. And so I was hosted in Java. So this was an island to the kind of like the northwest of Java. And we're doing, I believe it was a Batak cultural dance. And I didn't really know what I was doing. As you can see, I'm just kind of looking at my host mom like, okay, I'm just gonna copy you, which is, I feel like that's a lot of, you know, living in other cultures, just kind of, you don't always know what you're doing. You just kind of follow along like you would in a dance that you don't know. And over time it becomes easier.
It does.
But yeah, it was a fun time.
Such a fun photo.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm not sure that my host family really knew the dance that well either, because it wasn't from their culture, because there's so many cultures in Indonesia. But so to an extent, everyone was just kind of trying to figure out what to do.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Also, we want to ask, how do you feel like you being in Indonesia and interacting with all these communities, how do you feel like that impacted them?
And impacted Indonesians?
Yeah, Indonesian communities, or the people that you were able to meet and interact with.
So like I said, I would say that from like a one-on-one level, just encourage, like, kind of sharing, you know, it's an exchange of cultures. So on one hand, I would share parts of my own culture, and, you know, both directly explaining things about American culture, but also just through observation. And, you know, one of my most, like a really sweet moment that I had on program was when, towards the end of the year, one of my classmates was saying, like, I thought, I'm going to miss you when you go back to the US. And she said that, it was really cute. She said, you fit with us now. And it was just a really heartwarming moment, because it just showed, I remember thinking in the moment, wow, this is the impact that Yes has throughout the world, is when people from, you know, very different cultures are able to become friends, and, you know, and you can really feel part of a community. And it's not just me feeling that way, but also the community feels the way that I am really part of that school life and that community and that host family. And you know, I really do feel like a part of my host family and community still. Even when I go back, I still feel that those connections still are there.
That's amazing. Do you still communicate with your host family or your host friends?
Yeah. And now at this point, some of my friends are in serious relationships, and now they're kind of saying, "Oh, you need to come back for the wedding." So I've been back every time I've gone back. It's been for weddings to my host family. So now I'm getting to the point where now it's going to be friends too. So that's really exciting.
That's really exciting.
Do you feel like you developed any specific skills while you were on program, and how are you exercising those skills in your community now?
I would say overall cross-cultural communication skills, and also I think when you really get to the heart of it, it's empathy. It's being able to understand how even if you're talking about a culture that I don't really have a lot of experience living in, for example, but even so, I can use what I know about the countries I have lived in and the friends I have from other cultures and try to gain a better understanding of where they might be coming from, which helps me better relate to people. And for the work I do right now at AFS, it's really vital that I understand how people are feeling and maybe why they're acting in the way that they are based on culture. To try to figure out, because most of what I do in my work is helping others overcome their cultural differences. For example, a conflict between a student and their host family is often the result of some cultural differences. So through my understanding of cultures, I'm able to give guidance to help them, or to help the volunteers help them.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's really rewarding work. I really love my job.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's like you went from Yes Abroad student to now creating this environment where people can become more open-minded and become more culturally aware. And I think that's amazing and wonderful. I have another question about community service, because as we know, the Yes and Yes Abroad program value, 1,000% community service and that give back element to the program. How did your exchange experience change or enhance your perspective on community service?
I would say I became much more passionate about issues that I cared about. For example, one of my passions is cross-cultural understanding. And kind of with that, I would say just helping people feel welcomed. When I was in Indonesia, I felt so welcomed by everyone I met, as far as, it could be anything from someone inviting me to their home for dinner or helping me with something I just didn't understand. And so I feel like as a result of that, I feel more passionate about making sure that immigrants feel welcomed in the US. So when I was in college, I did volunteer to help a refugee family. And I feel that really came out of a desire to kind of give back in an indirect way to the YES program by helping, specifically I was helping a Muslim family, refugee family. And that's something that I'd also like to continue to volunteer with. And it's something that I've done a bit in terms of activist work as well.
Amazing.
That's really great.
These are some great photos, Natalie.
Yeah. And I think, if you just imagine, you're talking about the impact of these relationships and the way that it's changing people's perspectives about different communities, and think about all the different students that have participated in Yes and Yes Abroad for 15 years of that, and that ripple effect that it's been having on all of these communities.
Yeah, it's priceless.
Yeah,
it really is.
So our last question for you, Natalie, and I hope everybody is enjoying the beautiful photos of Natalie on program, is how have you stayed in touch or involved with the Yes Abroad alumni community?
I've done, so initially I helped out with, for example, leading orientations specifically with helping American students with their pre-departure orientations. So that was, workshops that were specific to going over policies, but also overcoming cultural differences. So in some ways related to what I'm doing now, but working directly with students. And through Yes, I also did a little bit of lobbying in DC, and also evaluating applications for the Yes program and NSLY. That's something that I've continued to do up till now. Currently, since I work at AFS, I'm not working with a specific team, but I help out where I can as far as evaluating applications.
Awesome.
So I would say, I guess I went from volunteering to then making it my career. So not, yeah.
Yeah,
And I'd like to get more involved, even though I'm yeah.
Yeah, we can tell that you clearly see the impact of the exchange programs, and you're kind of doing your part to give back in that way.
Yeah. And we thank you so much, Natalie. I hope you will join in our celebrations all year round.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so
so
thank
much.
you so much. And if you're watching, if you have any questions for Natalie, whether you're in the webinar room or Facebook, please go ahead and chat. Natalie, are you sticking around with us?
Yeah, I'll be around.
Cool.
If you're on Facebook Live, send us those questions you have for Natalie. In the Zoom webinar room, you can also do so. Thank you so much. We also, I just wanted to point out too, we had some happy birthday comments on our Facebook Live. We had somebody sharing with us in Bengali and in Urdu.
Yeah, we have people from all over. This is really exciting.
That's really
Without further ado, we're gonna go ahead. Again, please don't be afraid to chat Natalie if you have any questions, especially if you're a student on program. Please feel free to ask Natalie any questions you have. And we are now, it's time to introduce our Yes alumnus, right? Our Yes special guest. His name is Sulaiman. Sulaiman participated in the first cohort of the Yes program in Lebanon. That was in 2004. And he was placed by ASSE in Toledo. Is that how you say it? Toledo, Ohio? Toledo, Ohio. Oh, nice. Thank you. I'm having problems. He studied chemical engineering for his undergraduate studies, and led the technical department at Advanced Plastic Industries, the plastic piping company, while finishing a master's in engineering at the American University of Beirut. Since 2017, Sulaiman has been pursuing his MBA, and he is the founding member of Lebanon's Yes Alumni Chapter and remains involved in a mentoring and advisory capacity. Hello, Sulaiman.
Hello, ladies. How are you today?
Great. How are you?
I'm great. Hello. Yes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us from all over the world today.
Yeah, I know. We were chatting earlier with Sulaiman, and he was saying how it was almost 15 years ago that he did the program. So it's like half his life away, but it feels like it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
And
absolutely. And just to put it in perspective, when I went on the Yes program, I was 15 years old. So I think when I went on the program, some of the new people who are going on the program now were born the same year I left.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
So I'm aging myself by that. I'm putting a number on that. But so that's me. That's that picture is of me when I was 15 years ago.
Oh my goodness, 15 years ago. How does it feel?
I feel old. And one of the reasons when we were looking for pictures, I was trying to find pictures to send you guys. And then I realized when I went on the Yes program, digital cameras were not a thing. And camera phones were not a thing. And that's probably why I don't have share with you from the Yes program. I have some later stuff. But it's kind of, it was a different world when I went on the program than what it is now.
Yeah. It seems like it was a different world, definitely. Even social media and technology is advancing by the minute. But so my question to you is, first let's start off same with Natalie. What inspired you to apply for the Yes program, Sulaiman?
It definitely was a new idea that we have not heard of in our home community. The excitement of trying something new, going to a new country was definitely there. It was also an interesting time in the world. It was right after the start of the Iraq War, and there was a lot of cultural tension. So I felt we had both the host community and myself had a role in bridging that gap, and I wanted to be part of that.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
How do you think your exchange experience affected the people that you were interacting with in your host community? So your host family, your host school, the friends you were able to make, and maybe some of the organizations you participated with.
It was definitely an exciting experience for me, where I got to engage with a lot of places in the community where I was hosted, and try to make impact on different levels. For many people at school, I was one of the first foreign people they met.
Oh.
Let alone from a country or part of the world that was, kind of in the news for at that period of time when I joined. That was in the news in a different light that we would ultimately like to see. So I feel like my impact on a personal level was to show my classmates and my friends that I made there that, 15, 16-year-old kids from around the world are 15 kids from all around the world. We all have the same interests, and trying to not do our homework, and we just want to make plans for the weekend. And it doesn't matter where you come from.
Not you though, right?
Absolutely not. But it really just, I think my biggest impact on the community is that it humanized our interactions, and it kind of tore down those labels that us as mankind tend to put on each other. You're American and I'm Lebanese, and you're of this religion and you're of that race. So my interaction kind of helped me myself and the community to kind of tear down those labels and just realize that at the end of the day, we're all people who have same interests in life. We just want to go about our lives and better ourselves, better our communities. So that was the biggest impact that I created.
Nice.
Yeah. And were you doing any community service or service projects while you were in Toledo?
Yes, absolutely. So the high school that I went to had a very good community service program. So I through that, I volunteered at the Autism Academy of Learning in Toledo, Ohio. And I worked with autistic kids, but more on the more communicative end of the spectrum. So I used to do that for 3 hours every Wednesday. I remember that. But what's cool about it is that I made a lifelong friendship with one of the teachers who is, who I still am in contact with. And this is someone, who was the age of my host mother, but we became friends. Her daughter was my age. We also became friends. And every time I happen to be in the States, I still make it a point to visit that family. So that was through school. Also, another thing I did when I was in Toledo was that I used to volunteer every Sunday at the local mosque at the Sunday school and teaching Arabic. So Toledo has a community of immigrants, of Middle Eastern immigrants, and a lot of these immigrants wanted their kids to be exposed to their home cultures. And as a native Arabic speaker, I volunteered and I taught Arabic at the Sunday school.
That's amazing. That's awesome. And this same spirit of community service, how did you apply it when you returned to your home country, your home community in Lebanon?
Like I mentioned, when we founded the Yes Alumni Chapter in Lebanon, it pretty much all revolved around community service. So that was the mission and vision, to bring more of that idea to Lebanon. And I think we have done a good job in keeping that spirit alive. If you look at most of the projects that the Yes Alumni Chapter has done in Lebanon, most of the projects have been towards the community service. But there's also an underlayer of that where community service became part of who I am and what I do. So either throughout my undergraduate degree, I was always involved in community service projects. Like, for instance, I was, now that you have a picture of me next to the Engineering Honor Society thing. So I was part of an Engineering Honor Society at the university I attended, and we had a pretty cool community service project where we helped inner city children work on a robotics project. So they did not have the school was understaffed and they didn't have science teachers. So we coached them to go through a robotics competition. and they made it to state finals. So that's kind of one of the projects. Right now, where I'm doing my MBA, I'm the executive director of an organization that helps do career coaching for like newcomers to find jobs in their new communities and your new homes.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
Because I mean, you're so accomplished, and clearly you have a really strong background in engineering and now in business. And the fact that you're using those skills and taking the time and energy to really give back to your local communities is very impressive.
Very admirable. And I'm speaking of skills. Besides that, Sulaiman, I was going to ask you: did you develop or learn any new skills in the U.S. While being a student, while you were a KLYS student?
This is very interesting because some of the, like, if I look back, some of the skills that I developed really started from the YES program. For instance, the first time I ever did a presentation was from the YES program, where the international club at my school hosted an international international day where I did a PowerPoint presentation about Lebanon, our food, our culture, so that's like going on the soft skills. But even if you go in the long run, there are some important that proceeded at that point and have lived until now. For instance, we were asked to have a professional mentor when we were in the YES program, and to have a mentor, you will have to learn how to develop and build that relationship, and that's something that you carry along the way. When you're getting educated, you get mentored by your professors, and when you're at work, you get mentored by your boss, and you have to learn how to manage that relationship. And the fact that at a young age, I had that one-on-one mentoring relationship, I was able to learn that skill, how to manage how to be a mentee, and then later on how to become a mentor myself. And as I mentioned, this is something I take back and I apply now, like in with PREREC, the organization that helps immigrants that I just mentioned about. Also we're working on launching a mentorship program for the YES Alumni chapter as well. So that's one of the skills that you take, and then you keep developing and growing as you go by. So that's on a personal level, but there are other skills that also come along the way. As far as like Natalie mentioned, cross-cultural communication is a big thing. The way we communicate, the way we express ourselves, our tonality in our voice, all these things, kind of like softer skills, also started developing when I was in the YES program.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And I love the fact that you can point to that moment, like, after all these years, reflecting back, and you can point to the program and say, that's when I kind of, even little things like giving a presentation, which I'm sure you do plenty of now. And being that mentor throughout the years and being a role model that other YES alumni can look up to.
Giving back, I think that's key. I think it makes the whole program and experience 360. I saw that in one picture. Was that your host mom? Do you still, is this your host mom?
Yes, that is Carol. She's my host mom. And when I was in the program, she was a community director for ASSE. And Carol has a long history of hosting exchange students. So I think in total, she hosted 3 YES students, 2 from Lebanon and 1 from Morocco.
Wow.
I was student number 18 at her home.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
That's not uncommon. Once a host family starts hosting, especially a YES student or YES abroad student, they just
it just keeps going. So that's Carol, and she was with me at my undergraduate commencement, and my parents couldn't make it then, and it was really good because when they asked, like when the host asked for parents to stand up and like to be appreciated, she was my parent who stood up.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Do you still stay in contact with your host family?
Absolutely. Maybe not as much as I would. Maybe not as much as I would like, but I keep contact. I try to call every couple months and try to keep in contact. I'm getting married in May, so we're crossing our fingers that she'll be able to meet.
That's awesome. Yay. That's great. Thank you so much, Sulaiman. We really appreciate you coming and taking the time to joining us to join us on this webinar.
I do also want to point out in this picture that this is a picture of Slayman with Senator Kennedy and Senator Lugar.
Yes.
And he's wearing a particularly snazzy tie that I would like everybody to also look at.
Please take a look at this and comment on the tie. Yes.
We did not know that day that we were meeting the senators, and I just had a tie. The high school I went to in the States had a dress code that we had to tie. So we wear a tie every day to school. So again, going back to the point that I mentioned is that teenagers are teenagers, and they just want to challenge the system. So everyone at school had like funky ties and ties that had on them, and that was. So that day we did not know that we were going to meet the senators. So I put one of my prank ties on, and then here you go. I have a very historical picture in one of my most comic ties.
Yeah, I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect.
I think we need to put it on some website story or a social media or something. It's a pretty epic picture.
I think this is epic, and
it's one of my prouder moments.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Slayman, for joining. We're gonna bring. Oh, I'm sorry, Gloria. We're going to bring back Natalie. All of us are just going to be on screen. We're heading towards the end of our webinar here, but we just. Oh, great. We just want to collectively just wish Yes an amazing 15th birthday. And again, please go ahead, Jenny from American Councils. I think she had to leave the webinar, but earlier she did give a lot. If you're just joining, Jenny from American Councils gave a lot of suggestions and ways that you can go ahead and celebrate throughout the entire year, the 15th anniversary of Yes.
Yeah.
So we will be putting this recording up on the website.
Great. So we're gonna start taking any questions. If you have them, please type them in the chat box. We see that our wonderful speakers have shared their emails as a mode of communication. If you're inspired by any questions later on. But first, also, I know there's a lot of alumni that are here today too. If you guys want to share what you feel like was your most impactful moment on program, or tell us about some of the things that you're doing with your alumni community, I'm sure our speakers would love to hear about it as well.
Yeah. So please go ahead and chat that. And on Facebook, if you want to share any particular moments, please go ahead and chat that. And we will read them out and share them out.
Yeah. So our speakers, we do have another question as well. What is something you might say to one word of advice for somebody who is looking to apply to the Yes or Yes Abroad program?
I'll take that one. I'll take that one first. It is truly like one-in-a-kind experience. You don't get to go through living in another country with this support system that the Yes program provides in terms of academic mentorship, professional mentorship, all the development programs, cross-cultural programs. So for anyone who wants to take part of the Yes program or who is currently participating, I would say try to soak in as much as you can from these experiences, and most importantly, think how you can apply them back in your home communities. Because your Yes experience doesn't end when you come back. That's where it starts. So that's my biggest take on it. It's quite an uphill battle. Try to kind of bring back that mindset of community service and mentality, but this is who you are now. This is your mission, and you're definitely bringing a positive change in to your home community. So learn as much as you can while you're on your Yes year, and then bring it back and make the best out of it.
Slayman. And Natalie, what about you? For anyone thinking of applying to Yes Abroad?
I would say go for it. I'd say, it's really just like what he said. This is really the start of much more. I can't say enough how life-changing it truly is. I would say really my whole path in life has been guided by the Yes program, and what I'm doing now and what I want to do in the future is cross-cultural understanding and how I've seen how big of an impact that can have in communities, not only as a host student in Indonesia, but also teaching about Indonesian culture in China and India, which, you know, that was a cultural, I had multiple cultural experiences where I've lived because of the impact of Yes. And yeah, and also I would say that, you know, continue to be involved after the program. It takes a lot of volunteers to make this happen. And you know, all across the world, we have these networks of volunteers helping students. And I know at least in the US, there tends to be a divide between people of an older generation being really involved in community service, and then sometimes there being kind of like a gap right now of where younger people are not always as involved in that kind of community service. So I really hope that for the benefit of all international programs that our generation can continue on to be able to support all these programs through the efforts of volunteers.
Yeah, and we're just really glad to see that both of you guys are leaders for so many years in capturing that spirit of the program and really making that impact. And we know it's not always easy to capture and share about the meaning and value of the program. So we really appreciate everything that you're doing. We have Amadou from Sierra Leone, and he's having some trouble with internet, but he said he's so excited to join all the Yes families from all over the world in celebrating the Yes 15th anniversary.
Yeah, and we have, I think this is Show Me. Thank you guys for making this webinar happen. It was indeed very inspiring and fun, and we definitely wanted to make sure that we made this very inspiring and fun and kick off the 15th anniversary with a lot of inspiration, thanks to Natalie and Sulaiman. And so we're really excited about this. Can we share stories throughout the year? Of course you can. That was a question that was asked earlier. Please share your stories. Submit a Yes story to the Yes website and on social media. What is the hashtag we're using for social media content? KLYES15. Hashtag.
KLYES15.
Yes. Is
Yeah.
that a hash? That's the hashtag site? Oh, cool. It is KLYES15. Anything you're posting, any celebrations that you're doing in your communities, please make sure you use that hashtag so that we can go ahead and repost that possibly. Yeah.
Find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on all the things. You guys, I'm sure, are also on all the things.
Yeah. And like we said, Sulaiman and Natalie has put their email address, so please feel free to reach out to them.
Great. And do you guys have any last closing comments you want to share with this audience? I mean, your insight has been really special for us to hear today.
Yeah.
I'll go first on this one. I just want to thank everyone for joining us today, and I really hope everyone who is part of the Yes program, either as a student or a host family or a friend, just gets the really life-changing experience that I personally got from it. And please feel free to reach out. I think I've gone through many different steps that a lot of you are going to be going through at this point through. So please reach out if you need any help. You want to ask me how the Yes program has impacted me in certain aspects of my life. I'm very happy to share my experiences. Best of luck for everyone. And for those who are in the Northern Hemisphere, stay warm. For those who are in the Southern Hemisphere, you're lucky that it's actually warm right now.
Thank you so much. And Natalie, any last words?
Yeah, also, thank you everyone for joining. It really makes me happy thinking of, you know, all of you in your homes, wherever you are, all over the world, all tuning in to listen to this. And, you know, it really is a family all over the world. And it's nice that we both have, for all the returnees, that we have our host families, but we also have the Yes families everywhere.
Yeah.
And please, if you ever have any questions or just want to talk, you're welcome to reach out to me through email. I'm happy to help you with anything.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
One last thing, I want to end with one more fun fact, where we have 96% of Yes students and 83% of Yes Abroad students see themselves as willing to make changes in their home community.
That's amazing.
That's huge.
That
That's
is
so
huge.
I mean, in terms, if it was a grade on a report card, I think that's pretty good.
I think that's a pretty good average.
Yeah.
Actually.
So thank you
Awesome.
to everyone who made this program so special and important for the past 15 years
Thank you.
and for many, many more to come.
Yes, to all of the Yes staff, host families, alumni, students, thank you. And thank you to everyone who joined today. And for our Facebook viewers, you're awesome. Thank you, all of you. And can we do this one more time?
Where's mine?
Oh, you got to get yours, Gloria. Happy birthday, Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining. Please watch the recording of the webinar if you missed it on the Yes website. Bye.
Bye.